Hi, extraordinary times we find ourselves in, but this is not something that has never been seen before, and it's not something that we're going to see the last of. So there's a quote that is the title of this video, WW3, Let It Be. And I posted the beginning part of what that's all about, and it's on my mind because the question asked back then is still the same as it is today. A student asked Srila B.R.Sridhar Maharaj, who is considered the guardian of devotion, and this is not a secular or a caste or a blood lineage type of guardianship, but of a completely spiritual nature. And this is going to be very difficult for some people to appreciate, because a lot of what their ideas of spirituality are is actually not. It's some kind of moral, material position within time and place. So the question that came to Srila B.R.Sridhar Maharaj is, many people are worried about nuclear war. They think it may come very soon. And this is back in 1984 or something, I'd say. And the quote comes, it's stated on the website that I provided here, but I believe it's in The Subjective Evolution of Consciousness, also a book that is compiled of his writings and teachings. Srila B.R.Sridhar Maharaj answers, that is a point on a line on a plane in a solid. So many times wars are coming and going. So many times the sun, the earth, and the solar systems disappear and again spring up. We're in the midst of such thought in eternity. This nuclear war is a tiny point. What of that? Individuals are dying at every moment. The earth will die. The whole human section will disappear. Let it be. We must try to live in eternity, not any particular span of time or space. Pardon me. We must prepare ourselves for our eternal benefit, not for any temporary remedy. The sun, the moon, and the planets appear and vanish. They die, and then again they are created. Within such an eternity, we have to live. Religion covers that aspect of our existence. We are told to view things from this standpoint, not only this body, but the human race, the animals, the trees, the entire earth, and even the sun will all vanish and again spring up. Creation, dissolution, it'll continue forever in the domain of misconception. At the same time, there is another world which is eternal. We are requested to enter there, to make our home in that plane, which neither enters into the jaws of death nor suffers any change. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated in the 8th chapter, 16th verse, Abrahma bhuvanal loka puna avitino jana mam upekya tu kunteya punya janma na vidyate. Even Lord Brahma, the creator himself, has to die. Up to Brahmaloka, the highest planet in the material world, the whole material energy undergoes such changes. But if we can cross the area of misunderstanding and enter into the proper understanding, then there is no creation or dissolution. That is eternal, and we are the children of that soil. Our bodies and minds are children of this soil, which comes and goes, which is created and then dies. We have to get out of this world of death. And so this is where the whole notion of let it be, what stake have you got in this game? You've inherited a body. You've inherited. You've accumulated your acquired prejudices in your soul, in your subtle body that's traveling around, and it's animated by your soul, which is just pure awareness and reflective awareness, but locked within your concepts of who you are and your intelligence capacity and your mental abilities. And if those are all hindered or deluded, and you're unclear, even saying here, even Lord Brahma is taking death, so he is not perfect. And we aren't perfect either. We're here in this imperfect zone perfectly. And it's perfectly imperfect for a reason. And if we don't investigate that, if we just, mortified, literally, scared of death, and we become inert due to a lack of capacity on us to deal with our own mortality, then we're going to project it and we're going to try and hide from it. And we're going to try and conquer it. We're going to try to outlive our own time frame and expand past our place in time and space. So to do that is to encroach on others' time and others' space. That's so invasion. So we see Professor Zhang in the current world of opinions and science and theories. In his game theory approach, talks about elite overproduction. And we see that wars, even in the old days, were actually about that, was about reducing the burden of society from a bunch of nobles that would eventually live beyond their means and start to live outside of the bounds of normality and need to be corrected. If they weren't corrected by their own advisors, then they would be corrected through warfare from others who were living within the rule of their advisors. And that's the old system. And to some degree, it's still the system. Just names and things change. But we people are still at the effect of all of these elites or nobles or oligarchs or rulers or kings and queens. Yet we're within the Kali Yuga, and we refuse to accept that we are actually, despite our material opulence, in a spiritually degraded state. Our mental facility is poor, our intellectual facility is very limited, and our self-conception, our perception and capacity to perceive ourselves is entirely limited and very much dominated by body centrism, thinking I am the body. And this is the greatest delusion. So we're encouraged by Srila B.R.Sridhar Maharaj's words here not to put any stake in the outcomes of the various things going on here. And that is incredibly difficult to do. We have a sense of preserving the body, of being good in society, and of doing our duty. But actually, these are also misconceptions of those original conceptions. Really, we should not take the side of anyone but the Lord Sri Krishna himself. And that's the only success that we have. But there are very few around who are his to take shelter or direction or collaboration with. Not speaking for where I live and in the time that I'm in right now, but I have quite a few allied souls around me that are cognizant, are aware, astute with these sort of concepts. And so I'm very much not alone, but there are plenty of people in the world who are alone with these concepts, who have imbibed them, taken the songs, taken the mantras, and practicing, even at a great distance or in a great congregation of people. Either way, this is the reality of what we need to be developing in our life, not as we can easily do, waste our time on the speculations of speculations and possibilities, and speculations of possibilities. Clearly, we see that we're in a time of the world where the play of various religions, particularly the story of Zionism and its eschatology, are looking to collapse the world experience here with deliberate intent, whether that's Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, atheist, Jewish, whatever type of Zionism. That Zionism is a Sabbatean Frankism desire to kill, crush, destroy, dominate, control, and eliminate. It's a very, and also live forever without any sort of restrictions and be the lords, the supreme lords. The thing is, that game is not going to fly. Most of the world is quite aware of the duplicity, the lies, the cunning, the stealth, the betrayal, everything that is ignoble and to be shunned, really, in any decent society, and never given any power. But this is where we are, Kali Yuga. And through the influence of Zionism, which is maybe 300, 400, certainly a lot longer than that, the original Sabbatai Zvi and Jacob Frank and a whole bunch of others who were planning all this stuff. It became the Illuminati, the Masons, Jesuits, all this, which have infiltrated all countries. It's not about what they want. That's a completely materialistic, dominant philosophy, and it has nothing to do with what is noble and good. It has nothing to do with spiritual. And really, we just choose Lord Krishna's side and we'd be right. This place is said by Srila B.R.Sridhar Maharaj to be no place for a gentleman, because it isn't. It's very rough. Yeah. So I had a few other notes to. Yes, when we wake up in the morning, we have to reload all of these settings that we put ourselves onto. We have to download the various ideas and perspectives, and it's a fight between accepting new data from the field and environment and continuing on with our previous plans and the feedback of the environment and other plans that occur for us or to us. And we forget what the ultimate good that we are living for, and hence, the Vaishnavas are advised to take to practicing, recalling and saying the mantra to help us fix the idea of what we're living for. I mean, the results of the chanting is its own reward, and that's what Lord Krishna says as well. And the reward is for those who taste it, for those who get it. There's a lot to be said for trying to get it, and even in trying to get it, you're going to get something, a lot more than you're getting now without trying. And even a casual acquaintance with trying will yield results immediately, because it's spiritual. Has nothing to do with your mind, has nothing to do with your intelligence or your idea of who you think you are. So the body question is eliminated. To be able to say the mantra and derive a connecting benefit and some electrical, magnetic resonance and recognition, some feeling aspect, to recognize in our own bodies that different frequency, vibration to us, in us, for us. It has to be tasted. And so, the highest amongst us advise us to take it all the time. And the highest amongst us will produce in us that desire to do it. So we have to boot up our system the right way. So we're advised to take the mantra upon waking and just fix ourselves in that spirit. The Gayatri mantra is meant to be chanted at the three phases of the day: the dawn, midday, and dusk. With that, we are reorienting and reorient. Orient means east. So we're recalibrating to our east, to our spiritual side every time we're doing that at these passages. We are reaffirming in our bodies the practice. We are dominating our lower nature by reminding ourselves what to do. Now we forget, and sometimes it's a bother, and sometimes it's a disturbance, and other things that we want to do that are a pleasure we forsake in order to do. If we're lucky, if we're fortunate enough to remember that this isn't what we're living for here, just to feed ourselves and just to receive some pleasure. Even the animals are interested in that. So we aren't just animals, and we have a human capacity, and that human capacity is unique here in order to receive that spiritual understanding. We can become affectionate towards the spiritual truth, and the spiritual truth can become affectionate and reciprocal to us. And that is not something that's within the world religions being taught or shared or hoped for or promised. Even their descriptions of heaven or afterlife are really paltry in comparison to the fullness, richness of what's described in the Vedas of the spiritual world. Yes, the descriptions of the heavenly planets are there, but our perception of what is heavenly and hellish is not a spiritual perception. We've got a material perception of most things. It's said in the Vedas that there's a number of hellish planets that are, like Vegas or Dubai or whatever. They're very opulent, and yet what's going on in them is hellish. So it is about what's the consciousness of a place and people and yourself. So as you are only consciousness, and you're not the body, and you're not who you think you are by a name and a birth and a lineage, your body and your soul and everything that is here now is a product of all of the past decisions that you've made. But you're here now, and your allegiance as a soul is not to a body and to a plot of dirt that comes and goes. It's to your own eternal cause, your own best interest. And until you start actually acquainting yourself with the eternal, you're not going to know that. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And you take that every day, anywhere, anytime, silent, mumbling, aloud, together, alone, you're good to go. Faith in that chanting, let it find you, let you find it. If you need a guru, and most do, and really only fools say they don't. If you need a guru for that, there are gurus out there. And there's gurus for everyone. If you want to be cheated in the process, there are cheater gurus there. You want to sincerely make progress, there are sincere gurus there. The rarest thing to find is the sincere student. So with that, best of luck and talk soon.